Right now, somewhere in the darkness beyond our solar system, something massive is hiding. We can't see it, we can't photograph it, but we can feel it. Because the laws of physics are breaking, and the only explanation that makes sense is a giant frozen world lurking in the void, 9 times further away than anything we've ever visited. And here's the part that nobody is talking about. We are weeks, possibly months, away from finding it. There is a telescope that just switched on, and what it's about to reveal could rewrite every textbook, every map, every model of our solar system that has ever been made. But before I show you what it found, I need to take you back to the moment this whole mystery began. Because the story of how we got here is almost more insane than the discovery itself. And trust me, stick around until the very end of this video, because what scientists found in the data recently, nobody saw it coming. Let's go back to 2014. Astronomers are quietly doing their jobs, cataloging icy rocks drifting in the outer solar system, the Kuiper Belt, this massive ring of frozen debris floating beyond Neptune. Routine work, boring almost. And then one of them notices something wrong. The most distant objects in the Kuiper Belt, the ones furthest from the sun, they're not scattered randomly like they should be. They're clustered, all pointing in the same direction, like invisible fingers are pulling them toward a single spot in space. That is not supposed to happen. In a solar system governed by the gravity of 8 known planets, these rocks should be scattered in every direction equally. The chances of this clustering happening randomly, less than 1 in 1,000. So 2 astronomers at Caltech, Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin, they run simulations, thousands of them, trying every possible explanation. Too small, doesn't work. Multiple smaller objects, doesn't work. And then they find it, the only thing that explains what they're seeing. A single planet, massive, about 6 times the size of Earth, on a huge, stretched oval orbit swinging around the sun once every 10 to 15,000 years. So distant that at its furthest point, it sits 400 times further from the sun than we do. That's so far away that if you were standing on it, the sun would look like nothing more than a slightly brighter star in the sky. They published the paper in 2016, and the scientific world loses its mind. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because it's not just the clustering. That was just the beginning. There are objects out beyond Neptune called detached objects, icy worlds drifting on these bizarre orbits so far from the sun that Neptune's gravity can't even reach them. Nobody could explain how they got there. Neptune should have been the one that pushed them out, but they're too far for even Neptune to touch. Planet 9 explains it perfectly. Over millions of years, its gravity gently nudges these objects further and further from the sun, like a slow, patient hand pushing them into deep space. There's also a collection of smaller objects that orbit the sun completely tilted, sideways, backwards, upside down compared to everything else. Total chaos. Before Planet 9, scientists had zero explanation for this. Run the simulation with Planet 9 included, and suddenly their bizarre orbits make complete sense. And then there's the newest evidence, the one that really stopped me cold. If Planet 9 exists, its gravity should be doing something right now, not millions of years ago, right now. It should be reaching out into the distant Oort cloud, this shell of frozen debris at the very edge of the solar system, and pulling objects inward, flinging them toward the inner solar system in a continuous stream. Scientists call it a river of outer solar system material, a constant flow of icy bodies being thrown inward by something big and invisible. And when astronomers looked, they found it. 29 objects on exactly those trajectories, and when they ran the statistics, comparing what they found to the predictions made with and without Planet 9, the result came back at 5 sigma. 5 sigma. That is the gold standard of scientific proof. A 1 in 3.5 million chance that this is random noise. Statistically speaking, Planet 9 is there, but they still haven't seen it, and that's the maddening part. Because we know the orbit, we just don't know where on that orbit it is right now. It takes 15,000 years to complete one lap of the sun. It could be anywhere along that path, and it's so distant, so faint, that pointing even our most powerful telescopes at random patches of sky is like trying to find a single dark grain of sand on a pitch-black beach. Until now. Earlier this year, a telescope switched on in the mountains of Chile, the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. It has an 8.5-meter mirror. It carries the largest camera ever built by human hands, and it can scan the entire visible sky to extraordinary depth every single 3 nights. Previous telescopes took months to do what Rubin does in 72 hours. It is so sensitive that it could detect a single lit candle sitting on the surface of the moon. This is the machine that Planet 9 has been hiding from its entire life, and it has no idea what's coming. Here is what scientists expect to happen. Within the first year of observations, Rubin will dramatically increase the number of those distant Kuiper Belt objects we've been tracking. Right now, we have hundreds. Rubin will find thousands. And with thousands of objects, the statistical fingerprint of Planet 9 will become undeniable. Or it will vanish. Either way, we get the answer. And if Planet 9 is really out there, the leading prediction is that Rubin will spot it directly within 2 to 3 years of operation. We are not talking about a lifetime of searching, we are talking about years, maybe less. And remember that shocking thing I mentioned at the start? The thing nobody saw coming? Here it is. Astronomers recently reanalyzed the very first deep survey data released from Rubin. And in that data, they found a cluster of new, extremely distant objects. Objects with orbits so unusual, so perfectly aligned with the Planet 9's predicted gravitational influence that the lead researchers described it as the strongest statistical signal for Planet 9 ever recorded. We don't have a photograph yet, but the shadow of something enormous is becoming impossible to ignore. For the first time in history, the scientists are not asking if Planet 9 exists, they're asking when we are going to see it. And depending on when you are watching this video, that moment might already be here. The solar system we all grew up learning about, 8 planets, 1 sun, story closed, that version of reality may be about to change forever. A 9th planet, a frozen giant, a world that has been orbiting in silence for billions of years, hiding in the dark, waiting. Not for much longer.